right, family, stop scrolling because I need you to hear this, Carlos. King has just pulled the kind of stunt that makes you spit out your sweet tea, clutch your pearls, and wonder if OWN has officially lost its mind. Are y'all ready for this? Because what I'm about to tell you is not your everyday little announcement. No, baby, this is reality TV history in the making. The kind of thing that makes fans go from side-eyeing the screen to straight up throwing the remote at the wall. Now, let me ask you this. How far would you go to keep a TV show alive? Would you lie? Would you manipulate? Would you drag every cast member into a web of scandal just to keep those ratings high? Because apparently, Carlos King said, "Say less." I was sipping on my coffee this morning when my phone nearly jumped out of my hand. A cryptic post, a little teaser, a half-smile emoji from King himself. And boom, the internet went up in flames. What is he hiding? Why now? Why drop this without warning? And the real question is, what does this mean for Love and Marriage Huntsville? Fans are already whispering about secret contracts, hidden scandals, and receipts that could bury half the cast. Trust me, this isn't just TVT, this is boiling lava. Stick with me, because when I tell you the surprise Carlos just dropped is messier than Martell's Dimsy and more. Shocking than Melody's comebacks, I mean it. Are you ready? Because, baby, it's about to get real. Let's get straight into it. Because this bombshell is bigger than anything we have seen in Huntsville since the day Melody walked out on Martell and threw his entire fake perfect family image into the trash. The streets are talking, the blogs are shaking, and the cast members are suddenly very quiet. And you already know what that silence means. It means there is fire behind the smoke, and Carlos King is fanning the flames with a grin because this man just does not know how to play small. He thrives on chaos, and if the whispers are true, then he has been sitting on hours of explosive footage that OWN has refused to air. Not a teaser, not a clip, not some tiny argument, but entire storylines that never saw daylight because apparently the network thought they were too risky. Too risky for reality TV, which is like saying there was too much sugar in the dessert. It makes no sense because if there is one thing fans live for, it is messy truth on screen. So why would they hide it? Unless, of course, the truth threatened to shatter the carefully crafted image of certain cast members who seem to be untouchable. And that is where things start getting juicy. Because according to anonymous insiders, Carlos is now preparing to leak or release this lost footage as a surprise for fans, and when I say surprise, I mean nuclear bomb surprise. The kind that makes reputations crumble overnight and has fans binge-watching like their lives depend on it. The first name that keeps coming up in these leaks is none other than Martell Holt, because really, when is there a scandal in Huntsville without Martell's fingerprints? Somewhere nearby. Sources claim he was caught on camera making secret deals with producers. ALLEGEDLY, trying to secure more screen time for himself and even pushing to bring Ariane Curry into the storyline in exchange for being protected from too much negative edit. And if that does not sound like the most Martell thing ever, I do not know what does. And the internet is already dragging him because fans see Melody as the true star and backbone of the franchise. And the thought that Martell would sell out the entire show just to keep himself trending is fueling rage online. One viral TikTok said, if Carlos lets Martell rewrite history, then Love and Marriage Huntsville is nothing but a circus. And honestly, this circus has already pitched its tent. We are just waiting for the clowns to put on full makeup. But Martell is not the only one caught in this net because the Scotts are allegedly right there too. Remember those rumors about Marceau's secret apartment and the shady hotel receipts that floated around Instagram? Well, according to leaked notes, that was supposed to explode as a major arc this season until suddenly it disappeared. Insiders whisper Carlos cut a deal to tone it down, and fans are furious because for years people have claimed the Scotts get protected, while Melody is thrown to the wolves again and again. And now there might be proof that OWN really is playing favorites and editing in ways that shape public perception rather than showing the raw truth. Even Kimmy, who has been loved for her honesty, especially through her health battles, is said to have been pressured to heighten emotion for the cameras, which, if true, is not just manipulative but deeply exploitative. Because reality should mean reality, not stage directions whispered in a hospital room. Destiny's situation is even messier. People always say she has no storyline, but these leaks suggest her. Financial struggles and even a mystery relationship were filmed and then cut to make space for Stormy Steele's big debut, meaning Destiny was silenced before the audience even had a chance to see her full story, which explains why fans feel she brings nothing when in truth, production might have robbed her of that narrative. To top it off, there are rumors OWN itself has been funding off-camera PR campaigns to protect reputations, paying bloggers hush money to stop exposing certain cast messes. One blogger allegedly got $10,000 to stop posting about Martell's latest girlfriend. Imagine getting paid that much just to mind your business. And if Carlos really is sick of covering all this up and decides to unleash the hidden footage somewhere outside the network's control, then chaos will erupt. Contracts will be tested, reputations will burn, and fans will be locked in like it is the Super Bowl, because what was once a reality show will become reality. Warfare, the situation, only gets more twisted because while fans are trying to piece together the puzzle of why entire storylines have disappeared, whispers are growing louder that Carlos King has been planning this shakeup for months, carefully stockpiling all the hidden footage like a vault of secrets just waiting for the right moment to explode and shake the foundations of Huntsville television. And now the question hanging in the air is whether this is about revenge against OWN for holding him back, or about Carlos wanting to prove that he controls the true heartbeat of the franchise. Because the timing is suspiciously perfect. Right when social media chatter was starting to call the show repetitive and stale, suddenly these leaks appear, hinting that what fans are seeing is only half the truth, and that the real drama has been buried in vaults. And you cannot tell me that is coincidence, because nothing about reality TV is coincidence. Every silence, every cut, every scene is calculated for maximum effect. So the idea that Carlos is ready to break open the vault has everyone bracing for impact. The cast themselves are moving like people who know something is brewing. Martell has been posting motivational captions about new beginnings and staying true to yourself, which always means he is guilty of something. Melody has gone unusually quiet, which for her means she is letting the storm pass until she can come back with undeniable receipts. Marceau is still posting business updates, pretending like none of this touches him, even though fans are dragging him non-stop in the comments. Letitia is doubling down on family images while blocking anyone who mentions that apartment rumor. The public reaction has been brutal. Twitter threads are connecting dots, like FBI agents. TikTok edits are going viral, splicing together old clips with new leaked details. Fans are saying this show has turned into a masterclass in manipulation, because if you start looking back at past seasons with the idea that whole storylines were cut, suddenly all the weird pacing and unexplained tension makes sense. Like, why did Marceau look panicked at that reunion when the subject of infidelity came up, but then it never went anywhere? Why did Ariane keep claiming she filmed things when everyone swore she was lying? It all clicks if the lost footage really exists. And that has fans feeling both cheated and excited, because while they are angry at OWN for hiding it, they are thrilled at the thought of finally seeing what was cut. Anonymous sources have even claimed that private screenings of some of this unaired material have already taken place for select insiders to test the waters, and the reactions were reportedly explosive, with one source saying people were left gasping and another describing it as career-ending content that could not be ignored if released. And if that is true, then Carlos is sitting on the biggest grenade in reality TV right now. The tension around this is building like a pressure cooker. Because if OWN refuses to let the footage see the light, Carlos might bypass them completely and release it through another platform, which would not just embarrass the network, but potentially create legal chaos over contracts and intellectual property rights. But from Carlos's perspective, that might be the exact kind of power move he wants to remind everyone who the real king of reality television is. Fans are divided, with some saying Carlos is just bluffing for attention, while others believe he is ready to risk it all for the sake of the show. But either way, the conversation has shifted. Nobody is talking about petty, on-screen arguments anymore. Now it is about what is lurking in the shadows and whether the truth will finally come crashing into the light. And that level of suspense is what has the fandom glued to every leak, every whisper, every shady tweet. Because once the first clip drops, the entire house of cards will come tumbling down. The fallout from all these swirling rumors is starting to look like something bigger than just reality TV, because if Carlos King actually follows through and drops this so-called lost footage, the ripple effect will stretch far beyond Huntsville and land directly in boardrooms and legal offices. Imagine own executives scrambling to figure out how to contain a scandal that they themselves created by burying explosive storylines. Because once the audience realizes they have been manipulated not just for drama, but for damage control, the trust is gone, and without trust, even the most loyal fans will start questioning everything they see. Already, there are whispers about potential lawsuits, with certain cast members allegedly consulting attorneys to prepare in case old footage that paints them in a damaging light suddenly becomes public. And that kind of behind-the-scenes panic only fuels the public curiosity, because nothing makes people want to see hidden content more than knowing someone powerful does not want them to see it. Social media has become a courtroom, with fans acting as both lawyers and jury. Some demanding that Martell be held accountable if he really was brokering secret deals behind Melody's back. Others calling out the Scotts for allegedly negotiating away their scandals. And many saying Melody deserves justice for years of carrying the show while production protected everyone else. The longer the silence from the cast, the louder the speculation becomes. And speculation quickly turns into narrative, because in today's media cycle, perception often outweighs reality. Bloggers who once defended certain cast members are now switching sides because controversy drives clicks. Podcasts are dedicating entire episodes to dissecting leaked tidbits. And every day that passes without Carlos clarifying his intentions feels like another log being tossed into a fire that is burning hotter by the hour. Some reports even claim that sponsors and advertisers connected to the show are nervous about being linked to a potential explosion of hidden scandals, with one source hinting that contracts are being reviewed in case a quick exit becomes necessary. And if that happens, then the financial stability of the entire franchise could be at risk, which ironically would only push Carlos further toward releasing the footage as a last play to keep the buzz alive. The cast knows this too, which is why their social media activity has become strangely coordinated. Carefully curated family photos, motivational quotes, vague messages about resilience and loyalty, all designed to project stability, when in reality, insiders say group chats are filled with paranoia and finger-pointing, with some blaming Carlos for stirring the pot and others blaming each other for past behavior that might now be exposed. The word betrayal is reportedly being thrown around, and trust within the cast is at an all-time low. Fans, meanwhile, are treating this like a thriller, piecing together clues from old episodes and leaked scraps of information, creating timelines of when certain scenes might have been cut, overlaying it with cast interviews where people accidentally contradicted themselves. And the result is an atmosphere of heightened suspense where everyone feels they are on the verge of a shocking reveal. The question that lingers is what happens next, because if Carlos drops the footage, the immediate consequence will be chaos. Contracts could be broken, lawsuits could be filed, reputations could collapse. And yet this show might simultaneously reach new heights of popularity, because nothing draws an audience like raw, unfiltered scandal. The paradox is that exposure could destroy the very people who depend on the show for income, while making the brand more famous than ever. And Carlos, as the architect of it all, would walk away either as a genius who changed reality TV, or as the villain who burned it down for entertainment. For now, all anyone can do is wait and watch as the tension builds. But one thing is certain. Once the truth escapes from the shadows, there will be no putting it back. And the world of love and marriage, Huntsville will never look the same again. So the real question now is, what do you think will happen if Carlos actually lets the truth out and puts every hidden clip and every buried storyline right in front of us? Because once that vault opens, there is no way to close it again. Do you think Martel will finally face the consequences of all the backdoor deals he thought nobody knew about? Do you think the Scotts will survive the exposure of secrets they worked so hard to bury? Do you believe Melody will rise even stronger once fans see how much she was forced to endure? Or do you think the whole show will collapse under the weight of its own lies? This is your moment to weigh in, because your voice matters in how this plays out. So I want you to drop your thoughts in the comments, and do not hold back. Tell me who you think is guilty, who you think is innocent, and who you think is about to lose everything once the real footage drops. And if you want to keep getting the unfiltered breakdowns before the blogs catch up, then make sure you like this video. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because trust me, the next reveal is going to be even wilder than this one.